Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Narayam Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tadoche Mutiriyet Nasta Prayashu Bedeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So, Hare Krishna, thank you very much for everybody being present. Today we're going to look at the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, 25th chapter and 25th verse. So I will recite the Sanskrit line by line, and you are welcome to also repeat after me. So devotees can unmute if you like and repeat the slok. And we will do it exactly as they would do it in the temple. Satampa Shangam Mama. Oh, how's this going on? Let me just get the tune right. Satampa Shangam Mama Vidya Samvido.
Satampa Shangam Mama Vidya Samvido.
Bhavanti Hit Karna Rasayana Katha.
Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha.
Tajoshanat Asvapavarga Vartmani.
Tajjosan Asvapavarga Vartmani.
Shradharatir Bhaktir Anukramishyati.
Shraddharatir Bhakti Anukramyati.
Tatampa Sangam Mama Virya Samvido.
Satampa Shangam Mama Vidya Samvido.
Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasanaya Katha.
Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha.
Tajjosanat Asvapavarga Vartamani.
Tajjosan Asvapavarga Vartamani.
Shradharatir Bhaktir Anukramisyati.
Shraddharatir Bhakti Anushyamyati.
We repeat it one more time. Huh? Satam Prasangam Mama Virya Samvidho.
Satampa Shangam Mama Vidya Samvido.
Bhavanti Het Karna Rasanaya Katha.
Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha.
Tajjosanadasvapa Vartmani.
Tajjosan Apavarga Vartamani.
Shradharatir Bhaktir Anukramishyati.
Shraddharatir Bhakti Anushyamyati.
So now somebody can repeat like I did, and we will repeat after you. So whoever would like to.
Satam Parshangam Mama Vidya Samvido.
Satam
Prasangam Mama Vidya Samvido. Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha. Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Katha. Tajjosan Apavarga Vartamani.
Good.
Shraddharatir Bhaktir Anushyamyati. Shraddharatir Bhaktir Anukramyati.
Okay.
Satam prasangan mama virya samvido.
Satam prasangam mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha.
Bhavanti hrutkana rasayana katha.
Tajjoshanadaswa pavarga vartamani.
Tajjosan asva apavarga vartamani.
Radharatir bhaktir anukramishyati.
Shradharatir bhaktir anukshamyati. Akshamsyati.
Satam prasangam mama virya samavido.
Satam
Satam prasangam mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti ruttakarna rasayanaya kathaha.
Bhavani hrutkana
Bhavanti
rasayana
ritkarna
katha.
rasayana katha.
Tajjoshanada asva apavarga vartamani.
Tajjosanasva apavarga vartamani.
Shraddharatira bhakti anukramishyati.
Shradharatir bhakti anukramishyati.
Satam prasangam mama virya samvido.
Satam prasangam
Satam prasangam mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha.
Bhavanti
Bhavanti
hrutkana
ritkarna
rasayana katha.
Tajjoshanadasva apavarga vartmani.
Tajjosanasva apavarga vartamani.
Shraddharatir bhaktir anukrumisyati.
Shradharatir bhaktir anukramishyati.
Anybody else would like to have a go?
Satam prasangam mama virya samvido.
Satam
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 prasangam
mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti narasayana katha.
Bhavanti hrutkana rasayana katha.
Tajjasannad asva apavarga vartamani.
Tajjosanasva apavarga vartamani.
Tirbhaktir anuram risyati.
Shradharatir bhaktir anukramishyati.
Satam prasangay mama vidya samvido.
Satam
Prasangam mama virya samvido.
Bhavanti ratakarna rasayana katha.
Bhavanti hrutkana rasayana katha.
Tajso anat avasya apavargasya vartamani.
Tajjosanasva apavarga vartamani.
Shraddharatir bhakti anukranayati.
Shradharatir bhaktir anukramishyati.
Anybody else would like to have a go?
I would like to read the translation if it's possible.
I'm showing you what will happen in a typical ISKCON class.
Okay.
So maybe the next one you can do that. But I just
Hey
want
Krishna Prabhuji, can I tell once?
no, that's good because that's all we would do. Actually, the speaker would allow probably about 4 people at the most to speak and repeat. So, but I wanted to give everybody a chance because this is not a class in the temple. But I just want to give you this experience. Huh? So then the speaker would give the word-by-word translation, and everybody would repeat. Satam.
Satam
of pure devotees.
of
pure
pure
of
devotee.
pure
Of
devotees.
pure devotees.
Prasangat,
Prangasat
Prasangat.
through the association.
through the
Through the
association.
Association.
Mama,
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 my.
my,
my,
my.
Virya,
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 wonderful
Virya.
wonderful
wonderful
activities.
activities.
Wonderful activities.
Samvidha,
Samvita,
Samvida,
by discussion of.
by
by
discussion of
discussion of
Bhavanti,
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 become.
become,
become
Hrit,
Rit
rich
to the heart.
to the heart,
To
to
the
the
heart.
heart.
Karna,
Karna
Karna,
Karna,
to the ear.
to
to
the
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 ear.
ear.
Rasa anyaha naha. Rasa
Rasa,
Rasa ayana,
pleasing. Pleasing.
pleasing.
pleasing.
Katha,
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 the stories.
the story,
the
Stories.
story.
Tat,
that
That
of that.
of that,
of that.
Joshaya, Joshanat,
Josh,
Joshana,
by
Joshanat.
cultivation.
cultivation,
By
by
cultivation.
cultivation.
Asu,
Asu.
Ashtu,
Asu,
quickly.
quickly,
Quickly.
Apavarga,
Upavarga.
of liberation.
of
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 liberation.
liberation.
Vartmani,
Vartamani.
Vartamani,
on the path.
on
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 the
the
path.
Shraddha,
Shraddha,
Shraddha.
firm faith.
Firm,
firm
Firm
faith.
faith. Firm faith.
Rati,
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 Rati.
attraction.
attract,
Attraction.
attraction.
Bhakti,
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 devotion.
devotion,
Devotion.
Anukramishti,
Ramishati.
Anupramishti,
Anupramishati.
Anupramishati,
will follow in order.
Will follow in
follow
order.
in order.
So then the devotee will read the translation. Okay, yes. Kamakshi, you can read the translation.
okay. You'll have to bring it up a bit. I think this
I
last bit is
can't
missing.
do anything from my side because
Okay, no worries. Okay, I got it. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart, in the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. The real devotion and devotional service begins or
Good.
begin.
thank you. So
Thank you.
when the devotee,
Excuse me, Prabhuji.
and just no, Rianch, this is fine. Then the devotee will actually get everybody in the class to repeat the translation like this. In the association of pure devotees, and then everybody can repeat.
in the
The
association,
association of
Pure
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 devotees.
devotees,
Discussion of the pastimes
Discussion
question
of
of the
the pastimes
pastimes
and activities
activity
and
and activities
activities
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead
of the
of the
of the
Supreme
Supreme
Personality of
Personality of
Godhead
Godhead
is very pleasing
is
very
very
is very
pleasing
pleasing
and satisfying to the ear
and
satisfying
satisfying to the
satisfying
ear
to the ear
and the heart.
and the heart.
and the
and the
heart.
heart.
And the heart.
By cultivating such knowledge,
By
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 cultivating
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 such
such
knowledge.
one gradually becomes
one
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 gradually
gradually
becomes
gradually
becomes
become
advanced on the path of liberation,
advanced
advanced
on the
on the
advanced
path
path
of
of
liberation,
liberation.
and thereafter
and
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 thereafter
thereafter
he is freed,
he is
he is
freed,
free
and his attraction
and his
His
attraction
and his
attraction
attraction
becomes fixed.
becomes fixed.
becomes
becomes
fixed.
fixed.
Then real devotion
And
and
real
real
devotion.
devotion
and devotional service begin.
and
And
devotional
devotional
service
service
begin.
So then the devotee would say something like, purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
That's absolutely right, Rianch. Very good. That's exactly what would happen. And then the devotee would read the purport. The process of this is not so easy, and there may be some comments I want to make during the reading. So let me read this one, okay? The process of advancing in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is described here. The first point is that one must seek the association of persons who are Krishna conscious and who engage in devotional service. Without such association, one cannot make advancement. Simply by theoretical knowledge or study, one cannot make any appreciable advancement. One must give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of devotees. Because without the association of devotees, one cannot understand the activities of the Lord. Generally, people are convinced of the impersonal feature of the absolute truth because they do not associate with the devotees. They cannot understand that the absolute truth can be a person and have personal activities. This is very difficult subject matter, and unless one has personal understanding of the absolute truth, there is no meaning to devotion. Service or devotion cannot be offered to anything impersonal. Service must be offered to a person. Non-devotees cannot appreciate Krishna consciousness by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other Vedic literature wherein the activities of the Lord are described. They think that these activities are fictional, manufactured stories, because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper mood. To understand the personal activities of the Lord, one has to seek the association of devotees. And by such association, when one contemplates and tries to understand the transcendental activities of the Lord, the path to liberation is open and he is freed. One who has firm faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes fixed, and his attraction for association with the Lord and his devotees increases. Association with devotees means association with the Lord. The devotee who makes this association develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord. And then, being situated in this transcendental position of devotional service, he gradually becomes perfect. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Gyananti Mirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshuran Milikanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So that prayer is basically, the devotee will say that prayer because he is guided by his spiritual master. He's sitting on the Vyasasan, which means that he is representing Srila Vyasadeva. And he has to take shelter of his spiritual master who has given him this knowledge through instructions, through initiation, to represent Srila Vyasadeva. So whilst the devotee is sitting on the Vyasasan, he's regarded to be a representative of Vyasadeva and also his own spiritual master. So then the devotee would speak on the verse, maybe for, depending on the time available, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and he would take the devotees through his experiences, his realizations of what this verse is all about. So for example, he would explain the context in which this verse was spoken. So because it's third canto, 25th chapter, that is the Lord Kapil is instructing his mother about devotional service. And he's instructing her that you must associate with devotees of the Lord because they are advanced on this path of bhakti, liberation, and they can they can, by their association, give you bhakti, because they already know about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the devotee may also refer a lot to the purport, because in the purport, actually Prabhupada doesn't mince his words. He's very clear. He says, if we don't have Krishna conscious association, we cannot make advancement. And that's a fact. If we are associating with perhaps, say, our materialistic people or our relatives who may not be so into Krishna consciousness, if we're closely associating with them, then of course the subject matters that we will be discussing will be those which are dear to them. Unless we are very strong and we are able to put our association to them in such a way that they get devotee association, that's fantastic. But if we just started on this journey, then it may be that we will be in association with our relatives or friends, and we may not have the knowledge or the strength, spiritual strength, to give them our association. So we will take their association, and that means no Krishna consciousness, because they're not Krishna conscious. How can they give Krishna? And this one point which Prabhupada makes, that people are convinced that God does not have a personal form. It's a big disease in Bharat. It's, I would say, probably 70–80% of the people will have the concept that God has no form. And that's really unfortunate, because this is the land of the Bhagavatam and the land of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna very nicely explains in the 12th chapter that it's always better to worship my personal form. We're not saying there is no impersonal form. Of course there is. But the impersonal form is very difficult to worship, to attain. How can you give service to the impersonal form of the Lord? And usually people worship the impersonal form of the Lord to become the Lord. That's what they're thinking. I want to become God, and I can worship the light or whatever impersonal form that they manufacture and become God, merge with the Lord. So the devotee of the Lord, for him, that is abominable. That is really the last snare of Maya. That is even a place worse than hell, to want to merge with God. That is regarded to be, for devotees, the worst possible situation to be in. And that's one of the reasons why Prabhupada came to the West, because the West, again, is completely polluted with the impersonalism. How's that verse go? Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Shrimate Krishna Das Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shunyavadi means those people who want to effectively destroy their own soul. So this is what Prabhupada came to preach against. It doesn't mean that we can't have friends who are not devotees. No, of course. We live in this world. We will have lots of friends, and some of them may not be Krishna conscious. So am I telling you that you should cut those friendships off? No. But be careful not to take on their personal traits. They may have some habits which may not align with Krishna consciousness. So we don't take their association to that degree that we acquire their personal habits or their way of thinking. But in fact, instead, we can try, by our example, show how we live as devotees, and perhaps in that way influence them to take up a similar path, if they want to. Of course, we can't force anybody, but we can give our association. We shouldn't think ourselves so proud that I'm such a wonderful devotee and I can, give my association and everybody should take it. No, this is the point about the humility, that actually we are thinking ourselves to be lower than the lowest. And, we want to attract the mercy of the Supreme Lord. But at the same time, we don't want to be deviated into going away from the Lord. So we want to give our association to people to try to bring them closer to Krishna. That's the whole idea. One time Prabhupada said, a person who's Krishna conscious, he will automatically make somebody chant Krishna's name. When you see that person, he will immediately think about Krishna. And that generally happens when we have the bead bag in our hands. When we have our bead bags in hand, I remember going to the market on last Friday or Thursday, to the fruit market in Croydon. And we used to do a lot of chanting of Hare Krishna through those markets, Harinams. So when I went through, many people, they recognized the bead bag. And they kept saying, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And some of them were mocking, some of them were genuinely saying, hey, where have you been? We haven't seen you. So that was nice. It was nice because people who have no real connection with Krishna, they were saying Krishna's name spontaneously. So this is the influence of Prabhupada, because he's given us the holy name, he's given us the beads, the bead bag. So this is how we can give association. And if the opportunity is there with our friends and relatives, we can try to explain to them if it's possible. It's not always, when you're close with somebody, it may not be very possible to say to them, hey, chant Hare Krishna and you'll be happy. Maybe, like that could be taken very condescending attitude, and you may put that person off Krishna rather than bring them closer to Krishna. But if you have an opportunity where you can give your association through instruction, through guidance, then take that opportunity. The Lord will become very pleased with you because you are trying to bring somebody close to Krishna. And that is the most noble thing that we can ever do in this world or in the next world. And the devotee may usually will have some notes. He will have prepared. So of course, I couldn't get too much time to do many notes, but I had these notes. Lord Kapil, he gave this explanation, this verse, explaining how attachment for a devotee is beneficial. So when we are attached to hearing Krishna Katha, it's so nice to hear how Aruna, like for example, she was saying that she's looking forward to this time. And it's good because we're all trying to learn about Krishna consciousness, trying to improve our own practice and sadhana in Krishna consciousness. And we're doing it as a journey together. So that's a really, really good attachment to have.
I would like to add, I'm not feeling well today, so I'm just listening to everything. Thank you.
You're not feeling well, but you've still joined. See, the Lord will become very, very pleased with that.
I'm joining, but I'm listening. I've got a really bad headache today. So
Oh, okay.
so I can't.
Yeah, but thank you for joining. It shows your interest, because if somebody is not well, usually you switch off. The first thing you switch off from is a spiritual life, So, but it shows you are very advanced actually in your Krishna consciousness because of your attachment. So I'm very pleased for you, Aruna. So thank you. The Lord then goes on to explain who exactly is a devotee. So Kapil Dev is saying, get your association from devotees. And then he's explaining to Devahuta later on in the chapter, who is a sadhu? So then we went through that as we were going through the Bhagavatam overview. And then he quotes the verse linking the association of devotees with the development of bhakti. So the more we associate with devotees, naturally bhakti will come. Naturally this desire to serve will come. And that's the whole idea, to serve. We want to do some seva in the temple or even outside the temple, seva at home, seva to our friends, etc., etc. And Prabhupada actually quotes this particular verse, 3:25-25, many places. And I always like to know where he's quoting it and in what context. Because when Prabhupada quotes this verse, he'll do it in a particular manner, which will hopefully increase our understanding of this verse. So he quotes it in many ways. He says, without the association of devotees, we can't make advancement. We can't understand the activities of the Lord. We can't understand the absolute truth can be a person and have personal activities. And we will think that the activities of the Lord are fictional, manufactured stories, which is what is said in the purport. And because spiritual life is not explained to them in the proper way. So these are things that will happen if we are not in association of devotees. And things which will happen if we are in association of devotees. Transcendental subject matters, which are difficult to understand, become clear. While contemplating on transcendental activities, the path to liberation is open. This is the glorious. Even the devotee doesn't care about the liberation, but the path is open automatically. One associates with the Lord. This is so glorious. And then he gives so many different contexts. This verse is quoted in different ways. One develops the consciousness for rendering service to the Lord. Only words of Krishna can be fully potent and relishable to the heart. The heart of the materialistic person is made up of nasty desires. Don't know what happened there. One is awakened from sleeping and dreaming state. So the devotee's function is actually to wake somebody up. Sometimes he may take quite a radical step to wake up somebody. I remember when I first received the Bhagavad Gita, I received it from a friend of mine. He was a West Indian friend. When I was probably about 16, I think, because I was looking and I wasn't happy with anything I was reading. So he gave me the Bhagavad Gita and he said, read this one. Don't waste your time with anything else. I thought, cool, that's a bit arrogant. And I said to him, where's this book come from? Who wrote this book? The Hare Krishnas. I said to him, what? Those guys who walk around in the streets with bed sheets around them? I was sort of mocking them. And he said, yes, it's really good, read it. But I didn't really take him too seriously, But then 2 years later, I actually, it was the only book left I hadn't read. I picked it up, opened it, and from the very first page, it was the most incredible. It woke me up from my sleep. So I'm eternally grateful to that fellow. Immediately situated in the soul's glory in its constitutional position of servant. So we can realize that we are actually servants of the Supreme Lord, can understand the transcendental name, fame, qualities, and activities of God, become attached to hearing and chanting of the Lord. So when we associate with devotees, because they're always hearing, they're always chanting, we'll also get the same traits coming through us. They can relish the glorification of the Lord, authoritatively understand the position of the Lord. So people say, hey, who are you to understand the Lord? The Lord is so great. Yes, we know he's great, but we can't even understand that even that great supreme personality of Godhead becomes frightened of his mother sometimes. So this can be done on the basis of authority. We can authoritatively understand this position of the Supreme Lord. Even demons can become a devotee. This is I would probably classify myself in this situation, although I'm not quite a devotee yet, but hopefully going in the right direction. Jagai and Madai, many examples of this actually, yeah, many examples. All the hippies that Srila Prabhupada made into happies, he used to call them happies. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, what's your miracle? because every god man had a miracle. Some would produce ashes from 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 thin air. Some would produce even gold sometimes. So many different things. So somebody, a reporter asked him, "What's your miracle?" And he said, "You're looking at them. I've made these hippies into happies." And he said something like, "You should understand, hippies is an extraordinary thing," or something like that, wasn't it? Said something like that. It's quite interesting how he said it. Glorification of the Lord becomes potent. So otherwise, it's just artificial glorification. Ah, Lord, you're great. Allah, Lord is great. Yeah, but how great He is, how amazing He is. Become pure, more and more purified of material desires. This is what the association of devotees will do. Because we have so many desires, so many longings and wantings. But the devotee, he's very simple. And if we associate with somebody who's very simple and has no needs and desires, material desires, then we will also acquire that quality. Enables the mind to develop attraction to the Lord. And fortunate souls attain faith in unalloyed devotional service. So then the devotee would conclude the class. Generally, he would read the verse again, perhaps. So we can do that. So actually, Rianch, you can read the verse. Are you there?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can read the verse.
Okay, Prabhuji. Satam
No, the English.
Just the English.
Yeah, just English.
In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his affection becomes
Fixed.
Then
real
devotion and devotional service begin.
Good, thank you. So then the devotee would ask for questions. And if anybody in the class or in the audience has any questions or comments, they would share at that time. So has anybody got any questions on this verse or anything that's been said today?
Yeah, I have questions, so many.
Hare Krishna, Rohit. Yes, Rohit.
I mean, how to find that? I mean, if we are seeing now, how can we know they are pure devotees? Like if we want to associate, start, then some people will think, oh, I'm not, they were not reached according to these scriptures. They're not matching what they are following. So they may think that they're not following what they're saying. So how can we identify the pure devotees? Like it is stated in translation, right? In the association of pure devotees. That is my question.
True. No, that's a good point. Good question. We have to, well, I think we cannot really judge because we're not in a position to judge.
Yeah, yes.
So I would suggest that we take a humble view and view everybody as a devotee. If we see somebody who has got either behavior or habits which are non-devotional, we would pay our respects to them, but not necessarily associate with them. But when we see somebody who is following the rules and the regulations and is also able to convey the message of Krishna, we would take their association. So we have to, if we are in a mood of judging people, then we will have to be very, very careful, because judging, we may get it completely wrong. And I'll give you one example. Gadadhar Pandit, when he saw what's his name? Baladev Vidyabhushan, when he saw him, in the association of girls, he was thinking, what sort of sadhu is this? Materialistic person. But then when somebody spoke a verse in the Bhagavatam, that person, it was Pundarik Vidya Bhushan. Was it Vidya Bhushan? Yeah.
Vidyanidhi.
Vidyanidhi, yeah. He was in ecstasy, and he was on the floor, and he was showing devotional characteristics. So we have to be very careful how we judge. But our prima facie mood when we see a devotee is he's a pure devotee. And that then if we see other things, we perhaps be a little careful.
It will become Vaishnava Aparadh. Right?
Vaishnava Aparadh, yeah. But what our Guru Maharaj used to always say was take association of strong, fixed up devotees, right? Strong, fixed. And when you associate with somebody, if some devotee, if they say, so you were in the brahmachari in the temple, right? Living in the temple.
Yes, I was lived.
If somebody says to you, oh, today it doesn't matter. We don't have to go to Mangalarti every day. Don't worry about it. Relax. That person is not necessarily fixed and strong in bhakti, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there may be other reasons why he's not going. To persuade somebody else not to go, that doesn't sound like a good idea. So you would try to keep a little clear from them. But that person who goes to there's one devotee called Jitan in Delhi temple. I forgot his name now, but he has never missed a Mangalarti in the Delhi temple for the last, I don't know, maybe 30 years. Never missed a Mangalarti. Now that's a fixed up devotee. That's a very, very strong, powerful devotee. You take association of him because you will, Jitan Mitra, his name is. And you take association with a strong, fixed up devotee like that, and you will also develop the same attributes of that devotee. So there has to be certain level of discrimination, not to the extent that we're judging people, but so that we can improve our spiritual practice. We associate with strong, pure devotees. Does that make sense, Rohit?
Yes, Prabhu, but it's very difficult because there are only few, that type of devotees, they are very exceptional, like you're saying. Only few single per temple there will be one, or for few centers, they will not be there. What you are saying, that there are only few exceptionals like that. Like my Guru Maharaj also never missed Mangalarti, but I can't associate with him, right, every time. So
no, you can.
There are few.
You can associate with this. Our spiritual master has left 4 years ago.
Okay.
Hey.
So how to take associations then?
Follow the instructions.
Okay.
Follow the instructions. If you follow the instructions, you're in direct association with the Guru. Physical presence is a very small part of association.
Okay.
It's Vani, which is more important than Vapu. So when you take association of his instructions, that is a real disciple. If one is a disciple and you think and is thinking, oh, I'm in the association of my Guru, my physical presence is, I can serve him, but when he's away, I can chill out. That's not a disciple.
Okay.
That is not a disciple. That is simply bhoga, false.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So if you take associate of your spiritual master, even he's 1,000, million, billions miles away, you're with him. He's with you.
And his senior disciples as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you want advice, senior disciples of the Guru, then you seek their advice as well. But what he instructs you, you carry that around your neck as a ornament, necklace. Never let go, always remembering it. And those instructions, like Prabhupada, he was instructed in the very first meeting, go and preach to the Western world. Did he ever let go of that instruction? He wasn't even a disciple.
Yeah, yes.
He never let go of that instruction. How many times he met Bhaktisiddhanta?
3-4 times, I think.
Maximum. How many times have we met our Guru Maharaj? I spent months and months with him, years with him. But yet this foolish brain Kali Yugi brain, as Guru Maharaj used to say.
Even Prabhu, yeah, what you're telling is right. So if we spend more with Guru Maharaj, no, we'll become like familiar breeds contempt.
That can happen. It
Yeah,
can.
it happened to me because I done personally to my Guru Maharaj. And, I used to take care of him like servant. Few days when he came to our farm community at
Acha.
Hyderabad, I got service like opportunity. So I used to clean his rooms and used to carry Tridandi, that one, what we
Yeah,
call
yeah.
stick. And I used to do some personal service like cutting fruits, juice, like that.
Yeah.
Then I thought, okay, oh, I like familiar, I thought, but
Right.
yeah, that's why. So
Thank you for sharing that.
yeah, it will become, Prabhu, it will happen. And we'll also think he's also same like us, and it will become Guru Aprad, right?
Yeah. He's like an
Less
old.
from the spiritual master.
Yeah.
Not following Vedic instructions. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. You've had good realization, Rohit. Hold that in your heart. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Rohit. Thank you for the
It's
interaction.
all your mercy, Prabhu. That's why I was saved in this lot. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Naniben?
Yes. What does actually association mean? We think an association, is it like a friends who meet up or like a family or like what we are doing together?
This is one type of association where we are hearing each other or listening about Krishna Katha. That is one type of devotee association. Other would be, like we were just saying, when we do what the spiritual master is ordering. So when we're doing seva, that is associating with the spiritual master through seva, through devotional service. Different type of association, a higher level of association. And then there's another higher level of association where the spiritual master has left the planet, and then you are associating through his instruction. So he's no longer there to guide you anymore. So then, or there is no senior devotee to guide you. Like Prabhupada had a similar sort of situation where there was no one particularly senior that he could look upon. So he wanted to go to the West. Nobody was encouraging him. Absolutely nobody. Yet he had this higher level of association with his spiritual master, whereby he fulfilled the order of his guru. So that's another level of association. But what we are used to, what is commonly known, is Krishna Katha. So when we're listening to Krishna Katha, especially from devotees who are fixed in Krishna Katha, that is good devotee association. In terms of friends and family,
I mean those who are into Krishna consciousness, that is
yes,
an association as well, isn't it?
that's very good association, because although you have to be still a little careful, because between friends and family there can be this familiarity.
Yes.
And when there's familiarity, sometimes the strict practice of devotional service may be compromised. So, because I tell you what happened, for example, you say you're close with somebody, and then you say, oh yeah, that devotee, he's a bit of a nutcase, isn't he? Those sort of comments start creeping in, and we then start talking about others. So that's where familiarity is a bit of an issue. When you're close to somebody and you've got opinions and views on others, and then you're sharing them with that person who's close with you. And if that person who's close to you says, hey, hang on, this is actually, you've got it wrong. You're thinking the devotee is like that, but actually he's not. He's like this. He's better. He's better than you're thinking. That's good. That's because we're getting corrected. But if the other person wants to continue down the same line, then that association will not be helpful. Is that right?
I mean, also like with family as well, even though they might be Krishna conscious, they might not be, say, offering the bhoga at home, even though they're, not eating onion, garlic, and that sort of thing. So, if say you go there, they haven't offered it, and you're going to take that prasad without having so you're compromising yourself, really. So that could be something as well, so you have to be just careful and maybe guide them as well. Like that I will only have offered bhoga, so can I offer if you're not offering some, things like that. Even though they are Krishna conscious, they might not be following what we're following necessarily.
And it might be difficult to even say to them, I'm going to offer this food.
Or you just offer it then
mentally.
before, when you're eating, things like that.
Mentally.
But you have to make sure that you don't compromise on your rules and regulations that we're following.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Because it's Krishna testing you in quite challenging circumstances. So usually there would be a time limit for the class. So if, for example, in Soho, 8:30 is 8:30. And even if the speaker is halfway through a question, they might say to the speaker, time up, time up. At the manor, I think they stop dead on 8:30 as well. So most temples, at Vrindavan temple, they stop at 9 o'clock, dead on. So if you hear the ting, ting, you've overdone the class. So.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Indra Kumarji.
Thank you for this nice class. And this topic touched me a lot, is association with devotees. Actually, I have prepared a class on that. And at some point, if you're happy with it, I can share my realization. And you're still going to Croydon Market to do Harinam?
No.
At the moment, nothing.
Nothing's happening.
Okay. Because I remember we going, and now I realize something. Because when you said that some people mock and then you turn it into positive, I remember we going, and from where this tramway is, from that side, there was a vendor, a person who was selling potatoes, and he would throw potatoes at us, and then you would catch it. You would say, give more, I will use it in the temple. I don't know if you remember, but now I realize what you are saying, because you were turning the negative into positive at that time. That I have just realized when you were talking about you going again to Croydon Market. That was a great experience for all of us. And also, association of devotees is a huge topic. We have so many things that we can tell on it. And you said that somebody gave you the Bhagavad Gita, and then that woke you up. Bhagavad Gita or any literature can wake somebody up when that person is sleeping. But when somebody pretend to be sleeping, they will never wake up. No matter how much you give, they will never wake up.
Very nice.
And
very nice.
And as we said about presence of our Guru, Vapu is for limited time, but Vani is the best. It always with us. And thank you. Guru Maharaj is very, very happy and pleased with you, carrying all of us together. Thank you for this nice class. Have a nice day. Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji. Guru Maharaj. So actually, we are over time. So what we can do tomorrow, I did have another verse lined up, but I think
maybe just continue with this topic.
Shall we continue? What do devotees feel? I mean, I'd like to take Nani Ben's opinion, because we got two options. One, we start on the fourth canto. I was going to do a quick overview of what to expect in the fourth canto, or we could just continue with tomorrow and then do the overview the day after. Do you have an opinion, Nani Ben? Oh, she's not there.
She's gone.
Okay. Anybody would any thoughts?
Your choice is best, Prabhu. Whatever you do, it's good.
Anybody got any particular thoughts? I'm happy to start with the fourth canto because it's such a fantastic canto.
Haribol Prabhu, Sitaram here.
Hare Krishna, Sitaram.
Yes, I want one day more on this canto, Prabhu, third canto.
Okay.
It's very nice.
Okay. Thank you, Sitaram Prabhu.
Okay,
So,
Haribol Prabhu.
thank you, Sitaram Prabhu. Very good. Okay, let's
Hare
get.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Saryansh?
If we associate with devotees, they will tell the stories of Krishna.
Yeah, absolutely right. Good realization. So, Indulekha Maaji, tomorrow you're welcome to share the points you have. What I'll do first is I'll tackle the other verse, and then after that, you can spend, I don't know, 10-15 minutes going through the association.
Prabhuji, I would like to get more time because I cannot just give a main point. I would like to go through some detail. As you said, I've got realization from different grantors, from different books. So I would like to take some more time, if you don't mind. Let's leave it.
Oh, I'm happy with that. Let's do that. Let's continue with the association point then.
With
the association. That's good. Let's do that tomorrow.